Hey guys, today we'll try our hands at a nice and spicy Delhi style chole. This spicy chickpea curry is one of the exclusive few that I actually love when it comes to chickpeas. I'm also going to tell you what the theme for the Live to Cook 2022 collaboration is for week number 2, which is beginning today. So stay tuned until later on in the video to find out what the theme is. So let's first get started by cooking our chickpeas. Now I've soaked these overnight and I would recommend you do the same. Don't make this dish in a rushed way. So transfer all of your chickpeas in your Instant Pot or your pressure cooker, then add about a quart of water. Now we're going to put together a nice bundle, a bouquet garni of some whole spices, and that's going to help scent our chickpeas. So here are some black peppercorns, and then I'm also going to add in a bit of cinnamon. A piece about an inch or so in width would be just perfect. And then we'll add in some cloves. So I'm going to add in about 2 of them, and that's a really strong flavor and you really don't need much of it. And the same goes for black cardamom. It is very similar to cloves and it's kind of smoky, barbecuey in flavor. Then some dried red chilies, and then here's the magic ingredient, some black tea. The more you add, the more colored and dark your chickpeas would be. But I'll get back to that in a little bit. Now we have put all these spices on our cheesecloth here, and now we just have to tie this up with a tight knot. You can either just use the cheesecloth itself to tie it, or just use a kitchen string to tie up this bundle of spices, this bouquet garni. Now just toss that bouquet garni in your Instant Pot or your pressure cooker along with some salt for seasoning, and then a large tablespoon or 2 of ginger garlic paste. The tea that we're using helps infuse the chickpeas and the water that we'll be using to make the curry with a lot of color. The more tea you use, the darker the chickpeas will be colored and the darker that water would be. So the final dish would more be on the darker side. But if you use a bit lesser, the kind that I'm using right now, then you'll have a lighter shade of brown. You may find pictures of Delhi style chole on Google where you might see some that are super dark, while some that are a bit lighter in shade. So you can pick what you want to do. But there's another element that adds a lot of color into this dish, and we'll get to that in just a few steps. Now select the bean and chili mode for 30 minutes and make sure the knob is in sealing mode. Now I really enjoy it when my chickpeas are super soft, like extra soft. And especially in a masala dal, this spicy curry like this, so that when you eat it, you just taste that creaminess with the richness from the curry, the sauce. But if you want a firmer texture, just cook this for a bit lesser. Start from 20 minutes, and if you want it a bit softer, go up to 25. So cook for 5 more minutes in the bean and chili mode. Let's make our sauce while the chickpeas cook. So my ghee is heating on medium heat. With that I'm going to add in some bay leaf, and here I have some caraway seeds or shahi jeera. Then to this add in finely chopped onions, and then just sweat these out with a pinch of salt until they start to change their color, start to become translucent, and it just smells incredible. The combination of ghee with the onions always smells good. Now once the onions start to look soft just like this with just a touch of that golden brown color, then we can add in some of our tomatoes. Now I'm using some organic tomatoes here, and that's only because I've found too many times tomatoes that are bright red outside but not ripe inside. These organic ones are the best ones for that classic zesty, acidic tomato punch that any good curry requires. So I'm going to add a lot of it, and we just want to cook these down until they start to turn nice and soft and mushy and release a lot of their sweet juices. Now I mentioned to you that there's another element that helps add a lot of color in the final dish, and that's the tomato. And it's the lycopene present within the tomatoes that helps infuse some red, some orange colors into the final dish. So the more tomatoes you use, the more it'll clash with the dark browns and the lighter curry you'd have. So if you want a super dark version of it, then double the amount of tea that you used to cook the chickpeas, and instead of using 3 medium-sized tomatoes, use maybe 1.5 to 2 tomatoes. Now these tomatoes are looking perfect. They've released their pulp, so let's add in some dried spices. And I'm gonna start with some garam masala. And you're gonna notice there's gonna be some big tablespoons. Then add in some ground coriander, some ground cumin, Kashmiri chilies, and next is dried pomegranate seeds. These are anar dana powder. And you just wanna give this all a good mix. And we're using a bit extra amounts of masalas because this is not really a home style curry. It is trying to be like those popular street side chole that you enjoy with either puris or bhaturas. I'll talk more about those breads real soon. Now this masala is the base of our curry, and it's the base of the final flavors and the base of the final texture. So we want to make sure we cook this out really well. And a good indicator is when it's easy to slide around the pan. You want to keep stirring to prevent this from burning. And when you start seeing a bit of that oil on the side of the pan, it's good. Now my Instant Pot just beeped, and look at how this looks after we let the pressure release naturally. You can see how the tea has colored that water and the chickpeas, and at this point we can say bye-bye to our bukegani because we don't need you anymore. Now just make sure the consistency of the chickpeas is to your liking, but if you did cook for the full 30 minutes, I doubt you would want to cook it any further. Just look at how soft they look, and just that little tap, hello, just makes it go completely soft and mush, and that's what I really enjoy with a masala curry like this. So add all of that with the water into that masala once that is ready, and now we can just give this all a really good mix. Now once you've thoroughly mixed this with that water, all you have to do is bring this up to a simmer and then turn the heat down, and then just let this come up to the consistency that you prefer. Now you can reduce this as much as you want. If you want it super thick, then you can reduce it all the way down until then. But if you want a bit of a gravy, then just make sure you stop cooking it once you have the perfect consistency. Now while that simmers down, let me talk to you about the theme for this week, for week 2 of the Live to Cook 2022 collab. And the theme is pesky proteins. Now you can use the hashtag pesky proteins in your videos as your submissions, and the whole idea behind this is you want to try your hands at a particular protein. It doesn't have to be a brand new protein, but a dish that has a challenging element in it. Just like for me, it's chickpeas, or a protein that you've wanted to cook or you have cooked before, but you're not the best at. So you can try your hand at it, and it'll be fun to see what your final dishes turn out like. You probably can do better than what you think you can right now. Now if you want to get a head start, be sure to click the link down below. You'll get some free goodies. So you'll get a preview of my upcoming book. You'll get some tips on how to make cooking more fun this year. And most importantly, you'll get the rest of the themes and a nice little way for you to note down for your own purposes, like a journal almost, on why you're making it and what made you want to make it and how long you've been wanting each dish that you're attempting for each week's theme. Let's get back to the dish now. Now you can see that after a couple of minutes of simmering, it has become nice and thick, and the color has deepened a bit as well. It's not as light as when we first made that gravy, and just look at how great that is looking. That consistency looks perfect to me, and there's only some ways that I like my chickpeas, and one of the other ways is my easy chickpea curry that I'll link up here. It's really different than this one. It's more of a home style curry, and I think you're gonna love it. Let me know what your favorite chickpea dish or salad is in the comment section down below. Now this dish is just making me want to eat it right now, and I'm pretty happy with it. So let's serve it, and I'm gonna top it with some sliced red onions and some lime wedge. Now this is not just for show. It's great when you have a bite of the chole with this puffy bhatura bread and a squeeze of lime. It's just heaven. Now in no ways is this puffy bhatura bread ready to share with you. I'm still working on it, but if you want to see how to make this puffy bread made with flour, semolina and yogurt, then let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to get a sneak peek on all the dishes that I'm trying in the background, the things that I'm making that I'm not sharing on YouTube, be sure to hit me up on my Instagram that I have linked over here somewhere, and share this recipe with somebody who loves vegetarian, somebody who loves chickpeas. And I'm looking forward to all of your submissions for the pesky protein part of the theme for the Live to Cook challenge, and I'll see you guys again on the next one. And for more beans recipe, check out the links over here.